Welcome back to Outer Worlds 2. We are back on Dorado, more specifically Golden Ridge, where we are to break up a strike, of all things. We encountered these people before, but at the time, we had no authority to actually resolve the issue. We should have that authority now. We at the very least have several quests we can return there. I don't see anything specifically marked as the strike, though I'm probably just not paying close enough attention. But we'll start here, because there are at the very least some quests I can return. They've been here in forever.
Dead. Place is falling apart. If I found a way off this rock,
algorithmic dissonance. Don't even like the sound of it. How could something
What caused the schism between the Protectorate and the
very
Order?
idea is preposterous?
Turn in a bounty. Jan Dunsany. Boy, that's been forever. And the other two Dunsanys. We made money off an entire family here. Any new bounties? Nope. And none for me. And those two bounties were enough to level up. Okay, time to level up. So we're bringing everything to level 12 this time. And our next perk. Gain a bonus damage for moderate duration after swapping weapons. That's kind of interesting. When combat starts, whenever one of your companions is downed, immediately gain temporary health equal to 50% of your max health. How would someone be downed if combat has just started? Gain bonus damage against any faction you have a negative reputation with. I don't have any negative reputations. Gain the ability to pickpocket others. Guns with automatic or burst fire deal increased damage the more you fire. This bonus resets after swapping weapons or not firing for a few seconds. Well, that could actually be pretty valuable. What about cold-blooded? Apply frost and chill. This is pretty straightforward. I can accept that. Okay, doesn't look like any of the companions have a level up at the moment. So it's on the go. We already checked this. It's just an examination. It's not really anything I can do anything about. All right. So what's next? So we need to get to the strikers, which would be this disposable agent quest. Okay, so in our immediate vicinity, yes, the doctor's inside borders. It says we can return to him. I'm surprised at that. We definitely needed to find some additional doctors before that.
Ruth Bassar is the first among equals of the Laureate Council. She will raise humanity.
Thanks to you.
Our automechanical doctor has been dispensing medication and setting broken limbs with tireless efficiency. Take this. On behalf of the Order and the displaced, I thank you. Now, will there be anything else?
I think I'm good for now. Thanks a lot. Read the Seer's projection. Did we do that? Okay. So there's nothing about the strike in this region. There it is. Oh, it's right next to the landing pad, or it's not on this planet. Did I misunderstand? Praetor. We're not on Praetor, we're on Dorado. Okay. Well, we turned in some quests. I guess while we're here, we can take care of Marisol's quest. Is Marisol's destination marked? Certainly quite a few places that we've never been. Investigate the Anchorhold. That was noisy. I know we've been here before. So what has us coming back? I really need to make a habit of taking notes. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like there was some secret way to open that door. There is a crosswalk there, though. Yes, I've definitely been here before. Recognize all of this. That goes down. I think we need to go up. Oh, right. The people in the punch machine. Why on earth are we back here? Dormitory wing. Okay, so we're either here or we're above or below where we need to be. Pretty sure we're not here to grab a radio. Nothing very specific. They keep directing me right about here. A fab witch. That's probably why we're here.
Look, I know this ain't gonna get to the abbot, but I have complaints that need registering anyhow. This monastery's too big for the staff we've got, and it sure seems like the scienticians and theorists here ain't fixated on keeping neat. I might just be a novice, but at 73 years of age, I have enough self-respect that I shouldn't be picking up another body's lavation towels. Still, ain't as bad as it was in Auntie's choice, but that don't mean it's good. I just ask you folks to remember that there's more of importance out here than just your numbers.
Okay. I'm gonna guess it's downstairs. There's probably an elegant way to get downstairs. Why bother with that? We're supposed to return those books. That's what this is about. Okay, so as I recall, Okay. Nice seeing you ladies again. I still need to get one of your books. You would think that by now we would have gotten that door open. No, it's not here. That's just leading us back to them. Okay. Okay, so we actually were in the right place. Brief memorandum. An angry memorandum from an order scribe complaining that his copy of Exemplar Quang's book, Only Real Numbers, The Casualties of Appeasement, isn't ready to enter circulation yet. It's likely you'll find this title in the library's special collections room. Already have that book. The other one that we're trying to find. Conflict and de-escalation theory an examination by archivist A. Mailer, an impassioned essay covering ways of de-escalating conflicts, with many pages devoted to successful historical movements that utilize non-violent resistance. All right. We now have the books to return to our scholars. And an assault rifle, suggesting that someone leans toward escalating violence. Now, where did we put those two? I believe they're downstairs. Here we go.
Oh, I didn't expect us to wander into the scene of a murder, but somehow I'm not entirely surprised. Anomalous events have a way of spreading, multiplying. We should find a way inside. There might be clues to what happened, and where Anais's research is now.
There were 2 anchorites in there earlier. I only see one body.
They should have been sealed in that room to focus on their studies uninterrupted. No one in or out. I'd suspect the missing anchorite knows something, at least. We should ask her. Might be some signs in there of where she went. The terminal at Winter's Grasp said Anais' work was sent here. There might be signs of that, or where the missing anchorite got off to.
I'm just here to return a couple of books. Two-sided drawer to transfer items in and out. So apparently, I have to choose a book. Interesting. No, I choose both. So we passed on books that they no longer care about. Okay. I think I see a door that way. More direct than I thought. So they actually sleep in here. A scholarly reprimand of the Bazaar regime. A series of manifesto-like musings from Anchoress Brun have been pinned to the chalkboard. Most of the comments rail against the current order regime, while others extol the virtues of the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection. One passage toward the end stands out in particular. The universal equation should be our primary concern. All else is distraction, farce, and needless prolonging of suffering.
There may be more to learn here.
Private Journal, Anchoress Anya Chow. Do not read. This means you, Wilhelmina. You flip past hundreds of dense entries full of calculations and notes of arguments Chow was apparently working up for future debates, before finding something relevant to your investigation. Later entries mention regular visits by an exemplar Southworth, who claimed evidence of innovational means to shortcut the solving of the universal equation. After noting the method's highly unorthodox nature, Chow wrote that she found herself shut out of further discussions, leading to routine scenes of tense awkwardness when Southworth dropped in and a marked shift in Brun's beliefs. In the final entries, Chow appeared to worry the two were conspiring about something and noted hushed references to an old order research station near Paradise Island named Point Obviation. She began to believe that Brun intended on abandoning the monastery Anchorhold to travel there. Chow wrote that when she confronted her cellmate about her suspicions, Anchoress Brun responded that the idea of leaving the Anchorhold was not one she considered lightly, to which Chow contended that to consider it at all proved a lightness of consideration. In the nearby margins, a +1 point me is scrawled. Her final entry ends on a note of deep concern, writing, "I clearly foresee that whatever the two have planned may soon occur. It may serve me right for praising putting theory into application the other day."
We should keep looking.
Body of Anchoress Chow. Blunt force trauma to the head. Puddle of blood nearby.
I've had a chance to look around. You seem like you've done a thorough sweep. We should discuss what we've uncovered.
Okay. Did you see what was posted? Looks like some sort of super dense logic puzzle manifesto. The data pad had references to the research at Winter's Grasp.
I saw that. I believe it was Anchoress Chow's diary. Spoke about regular visits by an exemplar Southworth, who requested access to Anais' work. Chow seemed worried they were conspiring about something. That they'd mentioned an old order research station.
Yes, we read that. Did you see what was posted? Looked like some kind of super dense logic puzzle manifesto.
A disputation of current order methodology. Focuses mainly on our presiding bishop, but saves ample room for the laureate council and previous regime as well. I believe I got the gist by efficiently skimming. The general concern is that the order has lost its way. My old department is repeatedly mentioned in a favorable light. Anais' work is regarded highly.
And I know this is obvious, but I've identified the body. It was Anchoress Chow.
Poor thing. Blunt force trauma to the occipital lobe, I believe. Possible signs of an altercation. Might have been an accident. Might not have been. Hard to say with just a superficial glance. At the very least, her cloister mate Anchoress Brun has some explaining to do.
Yes. So have you drawn any conclusions from all of this?
I don't know what happened to Anchoress Chow, but leaving a body behind is suspicious.
Yes.
And the disputation reads like a call to arms for any fringe thinkers in the order.
Sounds like it's going to be difficult to destroy Anais' research.
Oh, we're past that, I'm afraid. The research is out there. We need a way to keep anyone from taking it up further in the future. If we go in guns blazing from here, it will only continue. We need a plan to annihilate the idea.
What do you mean, annihilate the idea?
This is the exact sort of work we did at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection. Diverting problematic events. We learned how to best respond once things begin to spread. We developed tactics at the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection to minimize unforeseeable consequences. We can discuss once we see the situation on the ground.
Okay, then. I guess it's back to the ship.
Yes. Time to seek out Anchoress Brun. That old research facility seems the most likely spot to look next. I know the coordinates on Eden. Place by the name of Point Obviation.
Is there anything up here? Oh, that's how we got in. No, there's... Okay. So they were friends, but they weren't that cozy. So they did each have their own bed. Oh, this is a bathroom. Okay. All right. I guess we get out the same way we came in. Well, I'm still disappointed that they weren't excited to get those books. Okay. Now it seems we're headed back to Eden. Eventually we're going to go break up the strike. I just never know from day to day. Apparently this is a part of Eden we've never been to before. Okay, well, that's...
Halt! Abide! Cease any and all manner of perambulation. Don't know who you all are, but unexpected guests are categorically unwelcome here. How'd you even find this place? Maybe I should just shoot you and glean details from your logs.
Ah, exemplar, if I may. Surely you recognize such a notable member of our cohort, Marisol Delgado. The end point?
I can't recall if I ended whoever came up with that name. Surely hope so.
You were head causality intercessor of the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, right up till the end, correct?
More or less.
Well, what a fortuitous alignment of low probability events this is. Our efforts here are based on your former department. You should confer with Anchoress Brun straight away.
Yeah, great idea. We'll go speak with her directly.
We actually sought to find you and others of your program, Intercessor Delgado. A serendipitous event, you arriving. Assuming you'll vouchsafe for your colleagues, you may all proceed. You'll find Wilhelmina up the lift, 4th floor.
Welcome to Point Obviation.
Oh, it's one of these devices. Okay.
Anchoress Brun is continuing Anais' research from Winter's Grass. I'm sure of it. Best play along for now, until we can ascertain the best course of action.
She's got the right of it. There's far too many guards for us to take on alone.
All right, we'll play it your way.
Look, everyone! It's the endpoint. Come to join us, I take it.
I do have a unique interest in what you all are doing here.
I don't think we're going to find anything terribly interesting here. I was looking for loot, not a loot.
Yeah.
Thank you. Interesting. Some things are considered theft and others aren't.
I am a longtime vocal exponent of your work, Intercessor Delgado. I hope you don't mind me saying. Go on up. You're expected.
Quite unusual, ain't it? How the Order treats their most respected mathematicians like Auntie treats her internees.
Celestial Distress Beacon. Before her death, Anchoress Redacted launched a makeshift satellite into orbit using spare parts. She assured the Order that knowledge of the stars would aid her contemplations of the universal equation. What it actually did was broadcast an emergency distress signal. The only remaining piece of her satellite is on display for two purposes. One, as a reminder that every Anchorite serves their role voluntarily, and two, as an assurance that help is neither needed nor on the way. Oh, I'm in a museum of some type. Orb of Pondering. Anchorites use devices like this to ponder one of life's many existential questions. What is the cosmos but a series of interconnected orbs? When the enormity of their calculations becomes too much to bear, The simplicity of the universe helps an overworked anchorite to center their mind and ponder in tranquility. Bell of orbital redirection. Scientists once theorized that sound waves could steer the trajectory of a planetary orbit. This theory was never tested in earnest, but several prototypes of orbital bells were fashioned at 1/1 billionth scale. Further study was abandoned since the working model would exhaust the resources of a planet and prove nothing more than its own irrelevance. Orb of Greater Pondering. See the Orb of Pondering exhibit just to the left. This orb is larger and therefore more expensive. Please do not touch. Ponder from a safe distance. Meteorological attunement apparatus. Environmental changes can influence one's understanding of the universal equation. Temperature, humidity, and wind speed are all contributing factors. By closely observing weather conditions, an anchorite can forecast an optimal day for math. I can't even. Scope of outrospection. While an ordinary telescope is outclassed by deep space observation satellites, they are an accessible way for anchorites to contemplate the vastness of interstellar space and their place therein. Augury focus device. Many seers and anchorites use focus devices to keep their attention trained on challenging equations. The device itself has no direct function, and most are cobbled together from spare parts. Their tactile nature calms the mind. Logs. Trials and Tribulations from Anais Bujold. Order Research Station 99-13-9 is better known by its shorthand appellation, Point Obviation. Yet in a world ruled by logic and reason, it would be celebrated as the most consequential order facility this side of the archive. Here, by Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, conducted world-shattering trials in feasibility volatile atomical electrodynamics research, harnessing the four fundamental forces to accelerate solving humanity's greatest mathematical problem. Instead of celebration of our efforts, we faced constant tribulations, until Point Obviation was shuttered long ago. Ignorant colleagues posited my trials were dangerously flawed. The firmament was falling, they claimed. The end of the world was nigh. How pedestrian and paradoxical. Had I been allowed to continue, we would have achieved ascension. Their ignorance has delayed our collective bliss. Cosmos in a Bottle. Entry from Anais Bujold. Test Chamber Alpha is where the mathematical magic happens. Site of the boldest research in the history of feasibility volatile atomical electrodynamics. Nay, in all fields of scientism. Here we work toward simulating the entirety of everything in a chamber no larger than your average habitation module. Our Cosmos in a Bottle trials were always going to be safe, anchorite supervised, with a controlled experiment conducted just one level down in Test Chamber Beta. This was not reckless science, and yet we were shuttered. Our aging equipment spread around the Anchorhold like it's some museum of obsolete apparatuses. Perhaps I'll create informational plaques for them as a punchline for this cruel joke. And indeed, she did. A fresh restart. Entry from Anais Bujold. After more than 20 years of inactivity, Test Chamber Alpha is refurbished and ready for the recommencement of our daring experiment. Shortcut to solving the universal equation is within reach. Allow me to reiterate, these are not the allegedly dangersome trials of yore. The test chamber has been remodeled into a new Anchorhold of Anchoress Brun, who has exemplar oversight for all new trials. How heartening to see a new group breathe academical life into my old research. Accuracy is our primary concern, followed by the safety of personnel. Meanwhile, I've taken this opportunity to recalculate the experimental risks, filling out any corners cut in my initial round of research. Best to settle your affairs and feed your domesticated animal companions now, colleagues. Soon enough, we shall achieve ascension.
Yeah.
Oh, who's this?
Are you a vending machine?
Oh, yes, I remember you.
We met earlier at the site of my former seclusion. I've heard much of your exploits since. I understand your actions led to Seer Wiley's unfortunate demise. Such a bright boy, such promise. And you're Marisol Delgado. We've never met somehow, but I've read your file. An impressive body of work, though often quite mortiferously inclined.
Less so over time. There were too many pesky repercussions, I came to find.
Yes, well, to what do we owe the pleasure? Are you familiar with our goals? Come to join up, perhaps, or should I say re-enlist?
Let me just say this new cell is much nicer than your old one.
Isn't it, though? So much more room to think. No one else leaving their sweaty breeches next to the comestibles nook. It's a refurbished test chamber, in fact. The facility was originally utilized in experiments by the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection, so it's highly appropriate for the vital work we're doing here. You saw the disputation, though. Tell me, what did you think? You read it, yes?
It suffered a willful absence of both title sheet and Oxford commas. Remind me the rest?
You're right, it did. Normally I'm the soul of fastidiousness, I assure you. I hope you can forgive my unconscionable error as I summarize my main points.
We'll overlook it this one time. Go on.
Surely you're aware of the myriad errors of our current presiding bishop and previous regime. One of whom shut down the division that operated here, the other squandered it. Our sect aims to end human suffering, sooner than later. We've taken great inspiration from your former department, from their methods and their science. To solve the universal equation in our lifetime requires bold action, clever calculation, and assiduous work.
How did you end up here from the monastery? Exemplar Southworth was involved, yes?
Yes, we have Grace, that is, Exemplar Southworth, to thank for that. Her visits to the Anchorhold were quite thought-provoking, as was the research she showed me from Anais Bujold. Bujold's thinking was unconventional, ahead of her time. Why, in fact, she's here with us now today, overseeing an experiment that proves her researcher's theories.
Really? Anais Bujold is here, at present, in this facility? The one we're presently standing in?
Oh, unexpected. She is always such a surprise.
Yes, we're so very pleased to have her. If you thought her work before was captivating, wait until you hear the experiment she's overseeing now. The intent is to represent the building blocks of the universe within a test chamber, then extrapolate data revealing the universal equation from the micro-universe that forms.
Sounds like it could change everything, one might say.
Why, you should go see for yourself. As former colleagues, I'm sure you'd like to reacquaint. Go on. I'll call down to let her know you're coming.
She's just downstairs?
Yes, she's monitoring the experiment. I'll have elevator access unlocked so you can join her. Do please stay in the observation area, though. The work is quite delicate. We'll speak further after you check over Anais Bujold's work and the experiment concludes. Oh, so exciting.
I seem to recall that the elevator did give us access to only one floor. I'm guessing it will give us access to another one now. Yes.
How much longer do you predict preparations will take?
Almost ready. Perfect timing for my former colleague.
Test chamber controls. Purge oxygen and initiate experiment. Yes, I think we'll not do that.
Head Intercessor Delgado. What an opportune time for you to appear. At the perfect moment to assist our experiment.
What in the endless void are you?
Shh. Comms off, but others are near. I need your aid before this ridiculous affair careens into disaster. Can I rely on you this time? Or will you already intend on scurrying away again?
Yeah, that's a little unfair.
Is it? Is it really?
Yes.
No, it's not. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You've never said that word out loud before, have you? Don't even know how to pronounce it. I guess... No, I'm still mad. Now, are you going to aid me or court ruin?
Okay, in fairness, I thought she was criticizing our recent encounter. She's still mad about decades ago. Just tell us what to do.
The test involves 4 stations. Each represents one of the fundamental building blocks of the universe. Zeranium gas, macro-ivs, nucleons, N-rays. All the usual stuff. That test chamber is where all are meant to mix. To simulate a mini-universe I can apply my theories to, pull data from, and deduce the universal equation in a reduced time frame. We know what happens if that's successful. So I need you to muck with each station's settings, then initiate the experiment.
What exactly does muck up entail?
All you need to do is adjust each station's settings slightly. Things will cascade from there. Remember, subtlety is required.
Yes, if we alter the experiment input data in a less than delicate fashion, Brun will notice, I assure you.
The guards on the 2nd floor won't appreciate visitors, so avoid getting spotted. Here's a maintenance key. Head down the vent.
Consider the experiment mucked with.
It's only the fate of the galaxy riding on it, so perhaps try to be careful.
All you people speak this way? Were we supposed to do anything at this particular station? That doesn't seem terribly subtle. Okay. Guess I need to get into that room.
P and Q are true if P is true or Q is true. A simple truth table for turbulent times.
Enemy in vicinity.
Yes, I can see that.
I'm no tenured archivist, but that sounds dangerously unstable. Oh well.
That doesn't seem terribly subtle. Zeranium flow settings. Note, locking final settings should only be done after zeranium flow quantities have each been carefully evaluated. This can only be done once, Pelfrey.
Something wrong back there? Hello?
Ideal setting 400 P divided by M. Precise zeranium measurements must be maintained. Novice Empress Pelfrey. As I have repeatedly stated, it is inordinately tricky to set all components of this test in the correct manner to simulate a functional micro-universe. Even the slightest error could undermine our vitally important efforts here. For the seemingly infinite time, maximum uranium flow is absolutely required for the highest probability of experiment success. If the flow is less than 500 gallons per minute, test results will be entirely skewed. Yours in science, tenured actuarian, Himmelfarb. Well, I don't know what the exact flow rate is, but it's lower than it was. Well, that guy's certainly annoying. Electrical panel. Novice empiricist Pelfrey. This panel connects to the microwave. Do not attempt to repair the system and alter the wattage of the device. I promise we will find ways to put your engineer skills to use in further experiments. Yours in science, tenured actuarian Himmelfarb.
No? Oh, just me then, I see.
Okay, well, we caused a little trouble on that side. Let's see what we can do over here.
Conjecture disproven.
Important reminder regarding N-ray settings. Novice Imperious Pelfrey. As one hopes you should recall, N-rays act as a capable proxy for the cosmic rays that constantly bathe all matter in our universe. For our present experiment, N-rays must be fired continuously through the tubes leading to the test chamber in order to provide desired test results. Fail-safe measures that maintain this stream are accessible in the ventilation shafts. Theoretically, the failure of a single fail-safe could be acceptable, but this has been untested thus far and could cause the stream to vacillate in a wild or uneven manner. Please note that if it's necessary to temporarily interrupt the stream, use the fail-safe switch in the room and not the one in the ventilation shaft, because if something goes wrong, it's more difficult to detect if the one in the vent has been thrown. Yours in science, tenured actuarian Himmelfarb. So we're supposed to use the one in the shaft, which I believe would be this big one here. If I'm understanding things correctly. Pneumatic tube delivery device. Novice empiricist Pelfrey. This can be used to send an Alta Vitae sample from here into the experiment test chamber. A pre-configured sample is on hand and ready to be sent at the appointed time. Its nucleon levels have already been precisely configured to coax simulated life from the primordial soup in the micro-universe. Do not, under any circumstances, combine it with an unconfigured sample or send an unconfigured sample in its place. With your lack of training, both would be obvious, but especially if you simply sent an unconfigured sample. Yours in science, tenured actuarian Himmelfarb. P.S. I'm unaccustomed to having to particularize in such a degree of pedantic detail, but recent misinterpretations on your part have convinced me it is required. So we need an inexpertly configured mixture. Laboratory centrifuge. Combine samples. Okay.
Indelibly eradicate algorithmic dissonance.
There's the unconfigured sample. There's the pre-configured sample. Apparently we need to use both of those. Okay. So combine these two samples.
Obvious.
Remember how I mentioned to be careful?
Lay low, Commander.
Everything's
Medics
ruined.
orders.
We're
There's
filling
no
in
coming
the
back. You all should go. I'll make my way out with the rest.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Hey,
unfamiliar development.
Conjecture disproven.
I trust that is the sound of silence.
Okay. I believe we have done everything we're supposed to do. You modified the Alta Vitae sample, you scrambled the microwave settings, you altered the Zeranium flow settings. So apparently there are 4 stations. So there's a 4th setting I still need to change. Or I didn't cause enough trouble.
Indelibly eradicate algorithmic dissonance.
Oh. Well, we came from here. So that would suggest that the other doorway this one probably. Yes.
All solutions proceed.
That's a bathroom. I don't think we're going to change any settings in here. Oh shit.
One, 2, 3, 5, 8. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. Hard to get in a good sleep cycle. These constant permutations upsetting everyone's natural logarithms.
Okay, we even know exactly where to go. I would have known that had I been paying attention. Are you still there?
It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summoned to preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders. Define recurrence relation, get us to sequence summation. It's Fibonacci.
Oh, shut up and go away.
From Liber Abahachi. P and Q are true. P is true or Q is true. The simple truth table for turbulent times.
Well, I gotta say, I'm impressed that a security... Oh.
It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summing to preceding numbers gives us math that brings us wonders.
Well, I thought we had changed it. Maybe we did the wrong one. Maybe we're supposed to do the smaller one here. Okay, now I believe we're done. That still doesn't say we modified it. Strange. Are we supposed to do both? Odd. Okay, so apparently that's not correct. Or is that? That's interesting.
P is true, or Q is true. A simple truth table for turbulent times.
Yes, he'd probably see me. It's very annoying. Can I do anything with this? No.
Terminating unproductive activity.
Huh. The map still points there. Weird. Now even more so. Oh, there's a in-race settings lock. Got it. Okay. That's the part I missed. Okay, so that's off. Lock that. That's the guard dog. Good grief. Okay.
May all solutions precede problems.
I don't see how that helps us.
P and Q are true. If P is true, or Q is true. A simple truth table for turbulent times.
If you're done, evaluating my work and all settings are final, enter the terminal command to void the oxygen from the test chamber.
purge oxygen and initiate experiment.
It's only the fate of the galaxy riding on it, so perhaps try to be careful.
Didn't we just do that? Big picture. Entry from Exemplar Southworth. Feasibly volatile atomical electromagnetics research is a controversial field. Many a tenured colleague have dismissed it as junk scientism, yet they simply lack the cognitive capacity to understand its underlying principles. We focus on the smallest of small things, the fundamental building blocks of the universe, to weed out anomalous variables and extrapolate only the necessary inputs for solving the universal equation. In layperson's terms, we create a big picture from a small one, with the hopes of accelerating our academic voyage to ascension. If only others in the Order also saw the big picture. Calculated risk, from Anchoress Brun. A question I have often pondered. Seer Bujold's feasibility volatile atomical electromagnetic research was so promising, why was her facility shuttered more than 2 decades ago? My colleagues at the time posited that her experiments were fundamentally flawed, chaotic, even calamitous. They claimed the study of fundamental forces would produce inconsistencies and garbage data. Celestial slosh, they called it, using layperson terminology to twist their figurative dagger in her life's work. Some feared such tampering with atomical electrodynamics might even cause a catastrophic cascade and potentially override our own universe and all of life in it. Impossible. Well, improbable. Let's call it extremely unlikely. But what is scientism if not calculated risks? From Anchoress Brun. Scientism marches on. After more than 20 years in mothballs, the Department of Preemptive Causal Redirection is open for business. Seer Bujold's feasibility volatile atomical electrodynamics research is back on track, with my exclusive reclusive attention. Trial preparation is in progress. Point Obviation has that intoxicating new equipment smell, while Bujold's original apparatuses are on display in the Anchorhold as a monument to her life's work. We are ready for the boldest experiment of all, to spawn a mini-universe, to simulate and solve the universal equation speedily, safely, and most importantly, accurately, or at least within the margin of error. I'm highly confident no catastrophic flaws will be revealed. There we go. Well, this may be a first.
Did it work? Did it work? Seer Bujold, was it a success? What happened?
Hold the applause just yet. I need to run the numbers. I'm sending the others back up to you. They can describe the proceedings in detail.
I shall await their arrival. Anchoress Brun out. That is how these messages end, yes? If not, farewell.
The results of the experiment will be a career-ending embarrassment for Anchoress Brun, but she won't accept this lightly. We'll need to do more.
Yes, our next steps here will be crucial. I know this type of mission well. Granted, my targets were always meticulously well-researched beforehand.
You'll need to convince her, destroy her logic, end this research for good.
Okay. This is going to involve math, isn't it?
All it requires is a forceful array of incisive argumentation, logical reasoning, coercive persuasion, and cognitive contortioning.
You mean one of our old brain-off maneuvers? Really? That's what the rank and file in our old department used to call it. Provost Bolding considered it a casual moniker unbefitting of an Order scientician.
Make Brun give up on science, logic, and reason entirely. Then no one will ever dare continue the research again. Between you and Marisol, it should be a light challenge. Easy.
Can't we just shoot her?
There's a wealth of well-proven data to verify haphazard murder being a profoundly bad idea. Deploying a logic bomb inside a reasoned argument is demonstrably more effective.
A brain-off against an Order Anchorite isn't entirely without risk. We could employ certain other methods to deal with her. From our former department's playbook.
Oh, yes, a book you wrote titled Making an Execution Look Like an Accident. Despite the moral quandary ideally involved, unseen consequences still abound.
That's hyperbolic at best. Data suggests significantly fewer unpredicted outcomes than outright murder, if properly executed. And I'm quite capable of skewing results in our favor.
And here I thought you'd begun to change.
Okay, now I feel bad. I was just kidding around. So what are the potential drawbacks to a logic bomb?
Success isn't guaranteed. A fair degree of cleverness is required. But you would have the help of someone reasonably intellectually nimble.
I would be willing and on hand to assist. And the other option would remain if we botch it.
Seems like you have a clear preference here. Let's hear what our other teammate has to say. Inais?
I've seen folk wrestle with logic, but not box with logic. I'm ready for a show.
Okay. You have a preference here, Marisol?
I'm not arguing it's the best option, just that it is an option. Rightly or wrongly, I am familiar with the cost involved.
The Order of the Ascendant should be dedicated to uplifting humanity, not racking up a body count unduly. Our former department was shut down for things like this.
Let's convince Anchoress Brun that she's an utter failure, but try to leave her alive.
Thank you for listening. That's a relief.
Honestly, I'm relieved as well. I have been trying to be different. From the person others believe me to be.
From the legend? If you're retiring as the endpoint, we'll need to find you a colorful new sobriquet.
This is my first brain off. Any advice?
Typical argumentation may prove useless, and she'll likely see through most attempts at deception. Be clever, unpredictable, surprise her. But in the event you should fail, you'll need a viable backup plan, or it will erase any chance of success completely. The Anchoress is housed in a test chamber similar to this one. It's been refurbished with some rather tacky furniture, but much of the old experimental apparatus remains. There is a hatch near the elevator upstairs. An external ledge leads to a vent system that can connect the two chambers. Doing so will expose the Anchoress to a lethal atmosphere. I'll need to make an announcement afterward that an accident has occurred tied into the experiment.
For an extemporaneous plan, it's not a bad one. What if the Anchoress realizes what we're doing and calls for help?
I'll cut off her comms when she begins pleading. Oh, that sounds even more heartless when I say it out loud. Please choose wisely.
I'll try my best.
Here's the hatch key in case you need it. May all your endeavors elicit expected results. And Marisol, do keep out of trouble.
I felt kind of bad about not picking a new nickname for her, but I seem to have more important things to do at the moment.
There you are. You saw the experiment through to the end, yes? The data hasn't arrived yet, so please do tell. Was it as beautiful as I imagined? Any inklings to the result? Or perhaps I oughtn't to have recloistered myself till after the experiment concluded, Well, don't just stand there. Tell me everything.
I didn't think the universe was supposed to be that color. It looked hungover.
What? Are you all right? Did you hit your head coming up here? I mean, what is that supposed to mean? It couldn't. Wait. Let's start from the beginning. Step me through your understanding of what's gone awry.
The equipment you're using is hopelessly out of date.
I assure you it is not. Grace was personally responsible for its selection after advisement by our team. Everything is modeled after top-order labs. What else concerns you?
The test assumes universal constants never vary. Can we be absolutely certain of that?
Everyone knows probabilistic variance doesn't occur. That's established bedrock. Not that I spend much time in the lab myself. And, well, with science, one is never truly certain. This was just a start. Such models typically make an enormous amount of errors at first. All quite expected. An anticipated setback, nothing more. It simply needs to be revised and refined. You certainly seem to be making a lot out of this, though, one must say.
You didn't seek disconfirming evidence. Your approach was just a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Well, methodologically speaking, I don't see how that could... Oh. That may be true, actually. Look, there may be some validity to some of your points, yes. But we'll improve. We will continue to stride forward. There's absolutely no need for all this doom and gloom.
Improving the model and methodology won't fix the underlying research being bad science.
Why, I'm shocked. I'm certainly glad Seer Bujold isn't present to hear such needlessly provocative and deplorable accusation. There is no call for that sort of meanness in the scientific field. And I can personally attest that it is categorically untrue. Now, is that all? Because I think I've had enough of all this. Everything we've done here is built off Seer Bujold's research, which is quite brilliant.
If you like poor statistical approaches, ineffective operationalization, and unwarranted conclusions,
It sounds like you have some expertise in the field and have scrutinized her work quite thoroughly. Mayhap I ought to give it another look. Ah, the experiment data just arrived in my terminal. Allow me to eyeball it a moment. Perhaps there's something here to help prove or disprove any of what you've been saying. There was some variance to the input data. Not far beyond acceptable parameters, but curious. Could explain the failure.
or maybe it failed bad because all the brain thinking behind it was bad.
I believe I followed that, but... Oh, come. One bad test wouldn't mean the science is completely flawed. This has been a difficult conversation. Challenging, disputatious, at times compelling. Yet I remain unswayed.
If I may, I have a point I'd like to add.
By all means.
There's a critical flaw in Seer Bujold's approach I think best illustrated by this English phrase. Time flies like an arrow. Fruit flies like a banana. I much appreciate this jest. Very simple, yet clever. Because in English, the word like can mean similar to or I prefer. And flies can be to soar, or plural of the insect. Through this perspective, it functions, makes sense, is humorous even. But in another language where words' meanings differ slightly, it does not. The framework we interpret the statement from changes, thus rendering it uninterpretable. False. Bujold's method of shortcutting the universal equation is much the same.
It lacks context. When you extrapolate the data from the mini-universe to the larger one, the information itself may scale correctly, but fail to interrelate. This little colloquy has proven rather arduous, and your points fail to... Wait. Considered as a whole... Damn it. No, I see it now. You are correct. We have obstinately and misguidedly blundered along here. The flaws in Bujold's research now seem apparent. Time for me to admit my errors. I'll need to inform everyone. Shut down research and operations. What will I do now? There's no place for me. Go. Leave me be.
Our work here is done, it seems.
Well...
Fellow scholars of the Order, this is Anchoress Brun, with an unfortunate announcement. Our experiment today was a failure. Our line of inquiry has proven intrinsically flawed. I became dazzled by bold, captivating ideas and ignored bad science. I am hereby canceling all related research, shuttering the program, and resigning from the Order. If I have any final advice to impart to all of you, it is this: never follow your hearts.
That's great, Noel. But isn't she still a murderer? No parting words with Bujold.
Start the cycle, do-do-do. It's Fibonacci, a sequence largely summoned to preceding numbers.
I understand now why they say never meet your heroes, Intercessor Delgado. You've truly been an enormous disappointment. A key experiment fails and Anchoress Brun abandons vital research right after you and your consort arrive. And we are all to believe these events were unrelated?
That's circumstantial and more than a mite bit paranoid. I expect better from an Order scientician. Even one from the Department of Applied Scientism.
Don't think I don't see your handprints all over this, Delgado.
The experiment was deeply flawed. We did all we could to help.
Oh, I'm sure you did much to assist. I'm not buying it. The Anchoress, poor trusting soul that she was, may have believed you were here in good faith, but I don't. You're looking more and more like enemies to me.
A biased tendency toward facts confirming a hypothesis can lead to faulty decision-making.
Oh, listen to you. You could almost pass for a member of the Order. Yet, the greater facts of this matter remain unevinced, and I remain unconvinced.
You put an outsized amount of faith. Oh, I hate to criticize her. She's actually a good egg, and we're doing everything we can to just destroy our reputation as part of this mission. So you see far more than the Anchoress then? You realize that she's smarter than you, yes?
Are you done? I know you're to blame. I just wanted to see how far you were going to take this. I can't believe Anchoress Brun fell for any of it. Fellow exemplars of the Order, commence hostilities!
Enemy
Target analyzed.
You're looking pretty shaved, Commander.
Oh, I've been much worse.
Replicator is charged. Check your scopes for combatant analysis.
Predictable.
Adversary vulnerabilities identified.
Oh, where's that handy health pack?
Combatant scared.
Good grief, there's a lot of y'all. Anyone else? Well, if I can eat, I'll say no. Interesting. Good, heavy rounds. So there's Southworth. Aggravator does 43 damage. Why kill your enemies when you can annoy them? Really, we'd like to know the answer. Okay. That's a very odd gun. Okay. The irony. We took out a lot of people. Not the one I wanted to.